Good morning, 3 past 6 o'clock. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM is 710 Keel. Down yonder, Miss Erin, local news. Boy, is there, and it's next.
It is a wet and nasty day, and we're in the deep freeze. We'll talk more about that. Big decision on religion in schools. We'll talk about that, too. And that clean city fee. Is it a tax? Is it a fee? Is it a filet mignon? Is it a hot dog?
So here's the deal. Wait until I tell you what, at the other end of the table, Ms. McCarty told me when we got together last night at that Republican women's meeting about the mayor's clean city fee. And yeah, the governor joins us this morning just after 7:30. Fletcher in sports, traffic, and weather. It's all coming up this hour on KEEL.
KEEL Morning Report, now on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
It's a wet and nasty day, and more cold air is on the way. That's the message from state climatologist Barry Keim.
This front's bringing widespread rain to Louisiana, just like we saw over the weekend. And this time we're looking at rain to the tune of 1 to 2 inches by the time it's all said and done.
Keim says the Shreveport-Bossier area has already seen a big drop in temps, and that will continue through tomorrow. After a year-long battle in court, the Bossier School Board and Americans United for Separation of Church and State have reached a settlement. The school district was accused of promoting religion at schools. Bossier Schools crafted a religious expression policy to solve many of the issues in the suit. While no details were given, the board says the new rules protect the rights of students and teachers and view the agreement as a win. A judge, however, still has to approve the settlement. A lot of folks spoke out against the proposed clean city fee of $18 a month for Shreveport, but several also told the council we must do something for the sanitation workers. Christopher Wilder is the solid waste superintendent.
We're waiting for human resources to give us the list to tell us how many people we can hire. At best, we'll get about 15 to 60 people on that list. When we interview them, once they sit down, we talk to them and tell them what the job entails, tell them how much they make. We might hire about 2 or 3 guys.
Mayor Adrian Perkins.
I appreciate the public comments today. I really do. I appreciate the comments from my council members as well, and all the brainstorming that's went into us coming up with a plan, a solution that all of Shreveport can agree with and we can move forward.
It sounds like several council members want to work on a compromise rather than approve the full $18 fee. A man found shot in Shreveport. According to police, the man was found inside a car outside of Southern Hills Elementary. The school was placed on temporary lockdown while police investigated. The man's wounds considered serious and life-threatening. Investigators still searching for clues in that case. Louisiana near the bottom in a new education study. Matt Parker with that.
According to a study from Wallet Hub, Louisiana is the third least educated state in the country. The study looked at high school graduation rates, college experience, and college graduation rates. The only 2 states worse than Louisiana are West Virginia and Mississippi. Researchers say poor school performance and availability of high-paying, low-skilled jobs contributed to Louisiana's low grade. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
12 bridges in Bossier Parish need to be repaired or replaced. 2 other bridges have been completely closed by DOTD due to their unsafe nature. To help fix some of the parish's problems, the Bossier police jury came up with a plan to pay for at least some of the repairs. The parish will use money left over from a 2000 bond issue for a jail and will borrow some funds to repair the bridges that need it most. The price tag about $20 million. A Barksdale airman's fate has been decided by a jury. Isaiah Edwards sentenced to 35 years after being found guilty of stabbing his roommate, Airman First Class Bradley Hale, to death. As part of his punishment, Edwards will also be dishonorably discharged. An organization is gearing up to push for hemp legalization in Louisiana after the Farm Bill lets states start regulating it. Louisiana Industrial Hemp Alliance representative Art Walker says it's a lucrative cash crop that currently has to be mostly imported and is found in a range of products.
Hair products, soap, skin cream, matting for farm animals. The list just goes on. With 50,000 and counting, you can imagine it's almost in everything that you can do.
So far, 19 states harvested industrial hemp last year. John Bell Edwards officially kicked off his re-election bid with an online video that not only touts his performance, but also warns he'll be a target of multi-million-dollar attack campaigns. The partial government shutdown has reached day 33, and 2 votes are set in the Republican-controlled Senate with the aim to end it. Add the governor to the list of people chastising the NFL about officiating in the NFC Championship game that sent the LA Rams to the Super Bowl instead of the Saints, the governor calling on the NFL to make rule changes for next season. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Eleven past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. I'm going to be good today, I can tell. 11 past 6, here's Ruben.
Looks like I-20 eastbound's got to clear all the way to Monroe right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on 3132 eastbound near I-49. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Well, the chilly rain will come to an end this morning. Clouds open the door for sunshine this afternoon, mid-40s today. A clear sky tonight as our lows drop to 30. Sunshine tomorrow with 56 are high. And we wrap up the week with sunny skies on Friday. Friday's high in the upper 40s. Saturday, sunshine, 57. Richard Wettig, the Weather Channel.
Well, hell. That's all I got to say. Just rats. Damn it. Phooey.
Me and Matt are qualified. You're not.
1017 FM 710.
What's unusual about that?
Yeah, you got a point.
1017 FM 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Keel app is a free download from Office Furniture Source. Evidently, do you have it in front of you?
I do.
This was not part of the plan, but we'll just go this way.
Oh, yeah.
Evidently, I am not qualified.
Nope.
To drive the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
You are not.
Now,
it's not because of your age.
Let me point this out.
Or your hairline.
Let me bring this up immediately. No pun intended. If there were ever an irony that one of the three of us in this room should be qualified to drive the Wienermobile,
that is such a good point.
it would be me.
You should be the head wiener.
Okay, so this is the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
Yep.
Is looking for drivers or a driver, and they're willing to pay someone.
Yes, and you get a great company car.
The Wienermobile.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
The deadline to apply
I think
is...
it would fit in my carport. Nothing Freudian about that. Jeez.
Oh, boy, I'm not going to say
2, 3,
it.
4.
Don't say it. You would be called a hot dogger.
I beg
By
your
the way,
pardon?
that's your title.
Yeah.
But you're not qualified, in case we hadn't mentioned that.
No, we'll come to that in a second.
The deadline is January 31st to apply to become a hot dogger. In order to apply, you ready?
Now, this is literally to drive the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. It will be literally yours for 12 months.
Yep, it's a 1-year position. You have to have a BA or a BS in public relations, communication, journalism, advertising, or marketing.
So let me see if I got this right. That because you two both have college degrees.
Yep.
And the fact that I do not have a college degree, despite the fact that I would think my real life experience as a wiener would qualify me.
Oh, you should be the top wiener.
To be the poster child for Wienermobile.
Oh, your wiener mobility, you reek of it. If you're outgoing and love a good hot dog, you could be the next hot dogger.
I love hot dogs.
Yeah, you do. You don't qualify.
Because I'm undereducated.
Undereducated for the Wienermobile.
That's exactly right.
Your wiener future is doomed.
It's dim.
Yeah, it is.
If not a little saggy. Okay, so if you'd like to know more about this, did you cross-post this to the Keel website?
Yeah,
it's at keelnews.com.
You bet it is.
So we were at Silver Star in Bossier City last night, Erin and myself, at the Republican Women of Bossier sort of monthly get-together.
Great group of folks.
And big room last night, too.
Packed house.
And Erin comes in. It started at 5:30. I got there about 5:15 or 5:20, and we're getting there about the same time. And Erin said, I just left the city council meeting. Now, understand, it's like 5:20. From downtown to Silver Star in Bossier, it's about 20 minutes. So she walks in. She says, I just left the city council meeting.
No, I didn't go. I was watching it.
That started at 3 o'clock. I was watching, she said, the city council meeting. And they're still doing public statements.
Public comments. About 5 o'clock-ish, they were still doing public comments.
So they started at 3, did a little business, opened the floor up for the citizenry of Shreveport to comment on the proposed $18 a month garbage fee. And at 5 o'clock, they were still going.
They were still going.
Would I be correct? And I, being undereducated, I'm not qualified to be a wiener. So the question is, would you describe the vast majority, the overwhelming majority of these comments as positive? Like, where do I sign up for my $18 fee?
No.
I didn't think so.
No. There were a lot of folks who got up and talked against it. Now, there were some sanitation folks who showed up. And, we won't know where was at the request of the mayor or whatever.
Did the mayor, did Mr. Adrian speak to the city council and the body yesterday afternoon?
He pretty much addressed the crowd. It was short and sweet because he was kind of addressing some of the comments that were made.
When the mayor, in this case, addresses the city council and the room, he literally stands in front of the city council in basically the same spot.
No.
How does he do that?
No, he's sitting at his chair. He has a chair up there on the dais.
At the big semi.
He's at the horseshoe.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's at the horseshoe.
I'll be darned.
He sits on the far. If you're looking at the council. He sits on the far left
Okay.
with the CAO.
Now, do we have a sound bite? Do we have sound from Adrian?
We do. We have, I think Matt's got it handy over there.
Okay. We'll give you a couple.
This is the mayor kind of talking about.
We don't need it now. We can get to it in the next segment. We don't have time right now.
Also, by the way, did I send you the reply I got that I was getting crickets from about how many get water subsidies?
No.
I got an answer.
Okay, lots to cover today. More on the water thing, more on the city council meeting yesterday, and where do they go from here? Mm-hmm. Then we have, let's see, we have John Nicholson. Well, let's do it in order. You have the itinerary in front of you. 7:10 is
Keith Hansen, who's been approved as the new Chief Technology Officer.
He'll be in studio.
He's joining us in studio.
At 7:10.
7:35, we have Jay Beasy.
The governor of Louisiana, John Bell Edwards.
He made his announcement that, guess what? He's running for re-election.
Well, what's he going to do? Drive a Wienermobile?
Yeah.
So
He's been driving that for 3.5 years.
So then at 8:10, we have City Councilman John Nicholson. And at about 8:40, we have State Representative Alan Seabaugh.
Yes.
Wow.
Kind of like a response to the governor.
Equal time.
We thought about having you be out sick today and letting Alan Seabaugh guest sub for you during the governor's interview.
There goes the FCC license.
Oh, I think the governor might hang up on us.
19 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, traffic update. Ruben's ready.
We have reports of a stopped train blocking up traffic at Sligo Road near Barksdale Boulevard. Traffic's being diverted to Golden Meadows right now. And we have some traffic delays on Uri Drive near East Kings Highway. Drive safe in these wet road conditions. And if you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Well, the chilly rain will come to an end this morning. Clouds open the door for sunshine this afternoon. Mid-40s today. A clear sky tonight as our lows drop to 30. Sunshine tomorrow with 56 are high. And we wrap up the week with sunny skies on Friday. Friday's high in the upper 40s. Saturday, sunshine, 57. Richard Wettig, the Weather Channel.
.101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Wednesday already. Sports time. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Red Hot LSU host ice cold Georgia in an SEC hoops contest this evening. The 25th ranked Tigers are one of two teams without a league loss, while Georgia is 1-4 in the conference, losing by 46, 15, 20, and 10 points. If there is an area of concern for Will Wade's squad tonight, though, it's rebounding. The Bulldogs are the SEC's best and 14th in the country, while the Tigers are 9th in the conference in rebounding and 102nd in the NCAA. Tip time is 6 p.m. You can listen on 1130 The Tiger. Northwestern State welcomes league-leading Sam Houston State to Prather Coliseum tonight at 6:30. The Bearcats are the only Southland Conference team without a conference loss through their first 5 games, while the Demons are 2-3. Second-year guard Dennis Smith Jr. returned to the Mavericks last night, scoring 17 points after missing the last 6 games to help Dallas get past the Clippers, 106-98 at home. Smith has been the subject of trade talks but flourished last night alongside rookie Luka Doncic, who also had a 17-point night. And the Baseball Hall of Fame has expanded by 4. Roy Halladay, Mike Mussina, Edgar Martinez, and for the first time ever, A unanimous choice with Mariano Rivera, the former Yankees closer. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, Shreveport Security Systems text line, 318-392-1884. So did, bluntly speaking, did the mayor take a hit yesterday? Was the overwhelming response by the fans in the crowd at the city council meeting, was it kind of, dude, what the heck? $18 a month is a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of the, pardon me, that's kind of the feeling that you're getting from most of the city council people, too. I know Jerry Bowman yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, hold on, what was the quote? It was the headline. It could be talking about the $18 a month fee. It would be a burden to some, but he also made the point that he, meaning Bowman, understood that some sort of fee was needed.
Mm-hmm.
So was that sort of the feeling from the crowd? What did they say?
Yeah, a lot of people thought this was too soon. You haven't gone over the budget yet. You haven't scrubbed it yet. You hadn't been there a month. Let's go over that. Let's make sure we haven't found other cost savings first. And then there was a lot of discussion about do some sort of sliding scale. There was also a lot of discussion about senior citizens being exempt.
Sliding scale, like you would pay for garbage according to your income.
Yes, not according to how much you put out.
I like the how much you put out thing.
That's not going to happen.
I mean, that's kind of selfish, I'll be the first to admit, but I produce one bag of trash every 2 weeks. No, it is feasible. And I'd mention to you Grand Rapids, Michigan. You buy your trash can from the city, and you have different size cans. You've got the billion, the great big, barely fits under the air conditioner in your garage thing.
Right.
Then you've got the middle size can, and you've got the smaller can. I could easily get the smaller can.
Yes.
Why should I pay the same amount for trash pickup as the people for the family of 6 who live across the way who I'm turning out a bag every 2 weeks? They're turning out 2 bags a day. You do see my point.
That's not going to happen. We did inquire. Well, I did inquire about how many people got help right now on their water bills because, they talked about there will be some way to help those who can't afford it. So I inquired because we have a system in place now to help those who can't pay their water bills.
Ben Riggs, when he was here last week, had said, yeah, there is some sort of water subsidy program in place. So you had sent an email to Barbara Featherston at Public Works?
Department of Water and Sewer.
Okay.
And asked her, and I copied the mayor and Ben and all the council members. I asked how many people got help with their water bills last year. Was it on a monthly basis or a yearly basis? And I hadn't heard for a day or so.
And to what degree? In other words, how much do you save?
How much money?
Do we pick it all up? Do they get like 20% off?
Yeah, how many households?
Is it like a Black Friday sale on water?
And I got this response from Ben Riggs. Didn't outline in terms of did their whole bill get waived or part of bill. I got a one sentence line, 2 sentences, I guess. SWAP, I guess is what the program's called. Citizens with, I don't know. No, citizens starts with a C, so that wouldn't be SWAP. A SWAP provided nearly $200,000 in assistance last year, $196,000, blah, blah, blah. 1,472 residents used the program in 2018.
So 1,470 to the tune of how much?
$200,000.
Okay, so we have a city department that not only underbilled by $1 million, they're giving away $200,000.
My problem is, and I'll explain what I explained to you at the table last night. One man got up at the meeting yesterday and he said, I have 2 houses in Shreveport. One is where I live. One I use as a rental property or whatever he was using it for. He said, and I get 2 water bills. Here's the water bill for my house, $136.
Where I live.
Where I live. Here's the bill from the house that's been vacant for 6 months. Vacant for 6 months.
And this was in front of the council yesterday.
In front of the council. He produced both bills. He said the bill, this second bill for the vacant house, 6 months vacant, was over $100.
Hold on. So the house in which he resides was
136 or something like that.
The house that was empty is
like 120, something like that.
And the point I made, what I said at that point was, I said, so suddenly, without really any visible fixing, and let me tell you, most of the people who ran for mayor, one of the very first things they said was, going to fix the water department.
Yes.
We need to fix that. That, I don't want to say scandal-ridden, that's not fair, but it is fair to say that they've had a little trouble.
Yes. So
before there is any visible repair of this department, we want to put them in charge of implementing another $18 a month fee.
If they're not billing accurately still, we want to give them another bill to be in charge of? Doesn't that seem odd? Doesn't that seem like, don't you need to put the whoa Nelly on this?
A cart before the horse was what I was thinking.
Yeah, whoa Nelly's good.
29 past 6 o'clock. More of this on the way all morning long. 29 past 6, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Erin has local news in a second. Right now, Ruben.
Looks like I-20 eastbound's got to clear all the way to Monroe right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on 3132 eastbound near I-49. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Well, a chilly rain will come to an end this morning. Clouds open the door for sunshine this afternoon, mid-40s today. A clear sky tonight as our lows drop to 30. Sunshine tomorrow with 56 are high. And we wrap up the week with sunny skies on Friday. Friday's high in the upper 40s. Saturday, sunshine, 57. Richard Wedding at the Weather Channel.
Of information. KEEL News now.
It will be at least 2 weeks before we find out whether or not a clean city fee will go into effect in Shreveport. Christopher Wilder is the solid waste superintendent. He says his workers need better pay.
We're already behind. We don't have enough guys to put out there. We're hoping that we finish and hoping that we don't start to get the calls. As you know, Christmas, New Year's, these guys work 7 days a week trying to get caught up. On a normal week, we work 6 days a week every week just to make it. These guys are doing stuff that nobody else want to do.
Mayor Adrian Perkins says this is a critical problem for the city.
I don't know how long we can continue to go with our trash workers working at about 50% capacity, working 7 days a week. So yeah, I very much, in that op-ed that was referenced earlier, I purposely conflated the reserve and our trash workers because both of them are on my agenda. Both of them have a time clock.
It's beginning to look like a compromise will be reached. The council's working on several different amendments to put forward. Bossier Schools settle a religious lawsuit. Matt Parker with that.
After a year-long battle in court, the Bossier Parish School Board and the Americans United for Separation of Church and State have reached a settlement. The school district was accused of promoting religion at their schools. Bossier Schools crafted a religious expression policy to solve most of the issues in the lawsuit. While no specifics were given, the board says the new rules protect the rights of students and teachers and view the agreement as a win. A judge, however, still has to approve the settlement. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
A man found shot in Shreveport. According to police, the man was found inside a car outside of Southern Hills Elementary. The school was placed on temporary lockdown while police investigated. The man's wounds considered serious and life-threatening. Investigators still searching for clues in that case. A Barksdale airman's fate has been decided by a jury. Isaiah Edwards sentenced to 35 years after being found guilty of stabbing his roommate, Airman First Class Bradley Hale, to death. As part of his punishment, Edwards will also be dishonorably discharged. A New Orleans lawyer taking the NFL to court over the outcome of the NFC Championship game. Attorney Frank D'Amigo has filed a petition to compel Roger Goodell to explain why he's not invoking a rule in which the commissioner has the sole authority to take appropriate action or corrective measures. D'Amigo spoke with the New Orleans radio station on that topic.
We have a court date set for Monday. We are filing long-arm service today on Roger Goodell in New York. He's going to have to respond to the court by Monday.
D'Amigo says the rule is on the books for a reason, and it's situations like the one presented Sunday that make it perfectly acceptable to invoke that rule. Cold weather is with us, and it's going to get even colder. State climatologist Barry Kime says the northern parishes across the state, including the Shreveport-Bossier area, have already seen drastic temperature drops.
Now, temperatures yesterday afternoon were in the 60s and 70s. By this morning, however, temperatures have already dipped down into the 30s across northern parishes.
Kime says it's not atypical to receive this type of Arctic blast this time of year. Los Angeles school teachers getting ready to return to work today after reaching a tentative contract agreement with the district. Teachers in the nation's largest school district had been on strike for 6 days. They'll get a 6% pay hike, a commitment to reduce class sizes over 4 years, and would add more than 600 nursing positions. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Let's change direction for a second. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Robert and Erin.
Cool.
You had a story, and I saw it in your news copy. I don't know if you've done it yet or not. And it was the story about self-driving cars.
Yeah.
Have you done that one already? Is it coming up?
It's coming up at 7 o'clock.
Okay, spoiler alert, as the kids say.
Mm-hmm.
So read this to me because I'm thinking GM plant.
Well, I was thinking the exact same thing. It makes me so upset. Google producing the world's first car-making plant that is 100% dedicated to the mass production of self-driving cars, autonomous vehicles.
Having a relatively self-driving vehicle for the last, do you still have it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Having a car that is to a great degree,
it's unbelievable,
a self-driving vehicle over the last week or 10 days or whatever it happens to be. And the interesting thing to me is you discovered it was a self-driving vehicle wholly by accident.
You bet I did.
Put your beer down.
Exactly.
Put the phone in the trunk.
Uh-huh.
Put your hands on the wheel.
It wasn't beer, it was wine.
The point I'm making is this, is having I'm not going to say driven a self-driving vehicle, having been behind the wheel of a virtual self-driving vehicle, has it changed your thoughts about them or your perceptions or what you thought they were?
It's cool.
And how they might operate and how everyone might benefit from having one.
What it troubles me about is that this feature is in the car I'm driving now, which is a rental, is a basic car. It's a basic model Camry, Toyota Camry.
Why does that bother you?
Because that means it's there. It's here. We are not ready for it. Our roads are not ready for it.
What do you mean?
We just don't have. We're not ready. Nobody has started any work talking about it.
What does that mean? We're not ready.
Our roads need to be.
I'm trying. That to me is a legitimate question. What do you mean the roads aren't ready?
Well,
when you kind of swerved off the road slightly and you hit the on the side of the road,
car drives you back over,
and it moves you back over. So who's not ready? The roads or the people operating the vehicle?
Well, we need to start planning now for these cars because I read a really cool report. I don't know if it was Time or U.S. News. I don't know which of those magazines, but it was like, we will be able to take our roads and where we have a 4-lane, let's say in Dallas, where we have 4 or 6 lanes, you'll be able to make 8 lanes out of it when all these self-driving cars are hitting because they don't need as much room. You can narrow all the lanes. It is going to hugely improve traffic in big communities because these self-driving cars don't need as much room. They stay in the lane. They don't veer. They only need very narrow margins between other cars,
right.
and the road system. Some of them, the lines need to be painted.
Sure would like to know what my insurance agent thinks about that.
Yeah, my worry is what about things like Christmas trees that pop up on the road that you could hit? What would the self-driving car do with that?
Honestly, there's always going to be stuff in the road or people veering into the wrong lane. But your perception is that in 5 or 10 years
there's going to be so many of these cars out there,
is that it will make driving safer and will reduce the number of mishaps, hence insurance rates in Louisiana, one of the highest, if not the highest risk states, at least south of I-10 in America.
But listen to this. Google is spending more than $13.5 million retrofitting a manufacturing facility in the Detroit area to make self-driving cars for its Waymo spinoff, which is the car they're going to put out there for the masses. In exchange, they're getting a state incentive grant that's worth up to $8 million. The company planning to hire 400 people to work at the factory. That includes engineers, operations experts, and fleet coordinators. They're hoping to open the plant the middle of this year. That's how quick they're moving.
Do you think anybody from here pitched that? Do you think anybody from here contacted Google?
If we didn't.
Do you think our facility was? Do you think that Google was ever even aware of our empty facility?
Were we even on the radar?
641, it's 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, garbage fee, more on the way. And don't forget Governor John Bell Edwards at about 7:35 this morning. Traffic time. Ruben.
Still dealing right now with a stopped train slowing down traffic at Sligo Road and Barksdale Boulevard. Traffic's being diverted to Golden Meadows right now. And we're dealing with some traffic delays on North Market near North Hearn Avenue. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Well, a chilly rain will come to an end this morning. Clouds open the door for sunshine this afternoon, mid-40s today. A clear sky tonight as our lows drop to 30. Sunshine tomorrow with 56 are high. And we wrap up the week with sunny skies on Friday. Friday's high in the upper 40s. Saturday, sunshine, 57. Richard Wettig, the Weather Channel.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Keel app, a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. So when you arrived at our little get-together last night at Silver Star, first thing you did, you came in, Erin sits down and goes, I've been watching the city council thing on TV because they've got their own TV channel. And has that been upgraded, by the way?
No, and it sucks so bad.
Really?
Keith Hansen, who's going to join us after 7.
So it's kind of like hotel porn?
Oh.
Is it?
It's like, no, it's worse.
Wow.
Not that I've watched hotel porn,
no,
by the way.
of course not, no.
It's kind of like, let's say you were the Zwally Town Council and you decided to hang some styrofoam cups and broadcast your meeting.
Let me try this again.
It's a little bit better than that.
Is it better or worse than Neil Armstrong setting foot on the moon? About that quality, a little better?
It's a little better, but the switching back and forth from the votes to the reading of the ordinance, it is such a cluster.
Okay, stop right there, Mr. Jackson.
Oh, my bad.
So here's the point. So you come in last night, you sit down, you say, I've been watching the city council meeting on TV. I said, yeah. She said, I left my house at 5. It started at 3. She said, I left my house at 5, and they're still taking public comments. One of those public comments came from the mayor himself.
Mm-hmm.
And how long is this? A couple of minutes?
Yeah, something like that.
Where in the scheme, where in the itinerary of the day? Was he early on? Was Mr. Adrian later in the day? Was he responding to comments made by citizens?
He was after all the public comments because there were a lot of issues raised by the folks who said, it sounds like in your op-ed you're only concerned about the reserve. You know, it sounds like you're going to push this full $18 fee and you're not willing to compromise. There were a lot of things.
So this is after. So he's up there maybe 5:30 or 6 o'clock. Not, in other words, the mayor didn't speak to the council and the people in the arena, if you will.
No,
at
he
3:10.
He was right around a 5-ish, 5:15, I guess, something like that.
Okay, so he'd been there a couple of hours waiting.
He's at every meeting. I mean, he
I
sits
understand.
there the whole time.
My point is, he just wasn't the first speaker out of the box.
Oh no, selling
his $18 deal.
He did, and then, I say he did. I don't know that he did. The one of the very first speakers was the sanitation superintendent or the solid waste superintendent.
Okay, so this is the point I'm making. Also, is that when Adrian got up to speak yesterday, he didn't necessarily know 100% what he was going to say going in. In other words, he was responding, not only he had maybe a prepared statement in his mind or on the page in front of him, but to some degree he's kind of riffing in response to some of the objections that were voiced.
And some of the criticisms and some of the concerns.
By the people in the crowd.
I appreciate the public comments today. I really do. I appreciate the comments from my council members as well and all the brainstorming that's went into us coming up with a plan, a solution that all of Shreveport can agree with and we can move forward. I by no means purport myself to know everything at all. What I know is that I promised the people of Shreveport that I would do a third-party audit when I came into office, and to what I discovered was actually there was an audit already done last fall that showed a discrepancy between our reserves that was in our public budget and what we actually had. So I was dealing with a time bomb at that point because I don't know when Moody's will be here. I really don't. I'm sorry, not Moody's, but S&P will be here and other credit ratings. I just don't. I don't know how long we can continue to go with our trash workers working at about 50% capacity, working 7 days a week. So yeah, I very much, in that op-ed that was referenced earlier, I purposely conflated the reserve and our trash workers because both of them are on my agenda. Both of them have a time clock. So again, I don't purport to know everything about this. I am super happy that concerned citizens are coming here and talking to us about how we can come to an equitable solution that the city of Shreveport can agree with. And I'm looking forward to working with our councilmen going forward. As far as where that money would go, I spelled it out in the op-ed. I spelled it out in my press conference. It's going to go to both. It's going to go to the sanitation workers, and it'll go to not necessarily directly to replenishing our reserve, but to stop the subsidizing of our trash collection. That's what's going on right now. We're subsidizing that department, and wages go up every year. Inflation goes up every year. So, I've been very direct with it. Very, very direct with our intentions, but that's what elections are for. That's what you all are for, to continue to hold me accountable. So that's what I'm asking for you all to continue to do.
Good morning. It's 6:49. It's 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Your Money Now just ahead, presented by Barksdale Federal Credit Union. Here's Ruben.
The intersection at Kings Highway and Linwood Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Well, the chilly rain will come to an end this morning. Clouds open the door for sunshine this afternoon, mid-40s today. A clear sky tonight as our lows drop to 30. Sunshine tomorrow with 56 are high. And we wrap up the week with sunny skies on Friday. Friday's high in the upper 40s. Saturday, sunshine, 57. Richard Wettigan, the Weather Channel.
1017 FM and 710 KEEL.
This is Senator Barrow Peacock, and I have to tell you, Robert and Erin do a great job keeping our local community informed about what's going on, not only locally, but also what's in Baton Rouge.
We are KEEL. 1017 FM and 710 KEEL.
KEEL Sports Update time. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Red Hot LSU host ice cold Georgia in an SEC hoops contest this evening. The 25th ranked Tigers are one of two teams without a league loss, while Georgia is 1-4 in the conference, losing by 46, 15, 20, and 10 points. If there is an area of concern for Will Wade's squad tonight, though, it's rebounding. The Bulldogs are the SEC's best and 14th in the country, while the Tigers are 9th in the conference in rebounding and 102nd in the NCAA. Tip time is 6 p.m. You can listen on 1130 The Tiger. Northwestern State welcomes league-leading Sam Houston State to Prather Coliseum tonight at 6:30. The Bearcats are the only Southland Conference team without a conference loss through their first 5 games, while the Demons are 2-3. Second-year guard Dennis Smith Jr. returned to the Mavericks last night, scoring 17 points after missing the last 6 games to help Dallas get past the Clippers, 106-98 at home. Smith has been the subject of trade talks but flourished last night alongside rookie Luka Doncic, who also had a 17-point night. And the Baseball Hall of Fame has expanded by 4. Roy Halladay, Mike Mussina, Edgar Martinez, and for the first time ever, a unanimous choice with Mariano Rivera, the former Yankees closer. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin, do you know who Bob Sutton is?
No.
Parky, do you know who Bob Sutton is? Let me give you a hint. He got fired yesterday.
Oh, Kansas City's D coordinator, right?
Kansas City Chiefs defensive coordinator Bob Sutton is out of a job. They fired him yesterday. Andy Reid fired him yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a rough world, isn't it?
Oh, man.
So your team gives up in overtime, Tom Brady goes the length of the field. It's not like Blake Bortles kicked your ass in overtime. It was Tom Brady, for God's sake.
Yeah.
It's not like Jamarcus Russell came out of the pharmacy and suddenly started taking snaps and marched the Patriots down the field. The point was, it was Tom Brady. But here's the point. Here is that fine line between success and failure, especially at a major league level.
Mm-hmm.
Toward the end of the game, in that final drive in regulation, Tom Brady got hit on the shoulder, and they called it roughing the passer. That moved the Patriots down the field.
Yes.
On the one play, 54 or 55 seconds left, Tom Brady throws an interception. And the guy, D. Ford, he's a linebacker for Kansas City, is like 3 or 4 inches offside.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If it weren't for a hair's breadth, this much, put your fingers like a half inch apart,
mm-hmm.
the Chiefs win.
Yeah.
Bob Sutton's a hero.
Yeah.
If it weren't for
the Super Bowl,
two fluke plays, instead of being out of a job, Bob Sutton is the defensive coordinator in a Super Bowl in 2 weeks.
Right.
657, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. The governor of Louisiana joins us just after 7:30. Here's Rush.
A left-wing wacko group that helped elect Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is preparing to battle the entire Democrat Party. Last week, the Justice Democrats released a video featuring Ocasio-Cortez calling for a rebellion. The group wants young activists and community organizers to become candidates specifically to run against incumbent Democrats. They want the old, moderate, establishment Democrats to face primaries by young leftists and to get thrown the heck out of office. Ocasio-Cortez says in the video that even if young progressives serve only one term, that's fine because leftists can make 10 years worth of radical change in just one term. One term is 2 years for those of you in Rio Linda. I find this fascinating. What we have here is a real credible threat to the Democrat establishment. And if you think the old Democrat old guard's just going to bend over and grab the ankles for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, well, some of them might actually, and her band of rebels, then you don't have a clue. This means war. They're not going to sit there and let this happen. You watch. Did you know that there is a new victim of identity theft every 2 seconds? It means a criminal could be spending your money, applying for loans in your name, and even damaging your good credit, all without you even knowing. And it's a good thing there's LifeLock identity theft protection. LifeLock uses proprietary technology to detect and alert you to a wide range of identity threats, like your social security number for sale on the dark web. And if you do have an issue involving identity theft, one of LifeLock's identity restoration specialists is going to work with you to fix it. Now, no one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but with LifeLock, you get identity theft protection and additional features to help protect your devices against cyber threats for as low as $9.99 a month. Go to lifelock.com or call 800-440-4833. Use the promo code RUSH for 10% off your first year. It's lifelock.com. And don't forget the name RUSH as the promo code for 10% off your first year.
Starting to see some slow-moving traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. And we have some traffic delays on North Market near North Hearn Avenue. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
7 o'clock, Fox News coming up right now here on Keel.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.
Just a little bit past 7 o'clock, Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Down yonder, Miss Erin has local news. Boy, is there ever, and it's coming up next.
It's just plain old yucky and cold today.
Temps dropped about 10 degrees since we got here, since we started at 6.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
A pretty big movement in the religion in schools fight in Bossier. We'll have an update on that. And that Clean City fee/tax, hot dog, filet mignon, whatever you want to call it.
Talk about that.
We'll have that coming up, too.
Keith Hansen, he is the he just won appointment yesterday, City Council Chief Technology Officer. He joins us in a couple of seconds. And Governor John Bell Edwards just after 7:30. Traffic and weather and Fletcher and sports all coming up this hour, and it's here on KEEL.
Report now on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
After a year-long battle in court, the Bossier School Board and Americans United for Separation of Church and State have reached a settlement. The school district was accused of promoting religion at schools. Bossier Schools crafted a religious expression policy to solve many of the issues in the suit. While no details were given, the board says the new rules protect the rights of students and teachers and view the agreement as a win. A judge, however, still has to approve the settlement. It will be at least 2 weeks before any decision is made about the Clean City fee, $18 a month for garbage pickup in Shreveport. Christopher Wilder is with the sanitation department. He says we need to do something to help the workers.
As a citizen, I guess I would be here telling you, don't pass this fee because I don't want to pay it. But being in solid waste for 14 years, a part of Public Works, and looking at what these guys do, I'm here to tell you that we need to pass it.
Adrian Perkins, the mayor, says he's ready to get to work finding a solution to the sanitation problem and to our financial problem in terms of the critically low reserve.
I by no means purport myself to be to know everything at all. What I know is that I promised the people of Shreveport that I would do a third-party audit when I came into office, and to what I discovered was actually there was an audit already done last fall that showed a discrepancy between our reserves that was in our public budget and what we actually had.
The council could take action on the proposal in a couple of weeks. They're likely to try to reach a compromise. A man found shot in Shreveport. According to police, the man was found inside a car outside of Southern Hills Elementary. The school was placed on temporary lockdown while police investigated. The man's wounds considered serious and life-threatening. Investigators still searching for clues in that case. A Barksdale airman's fate has been decided by a jury. Isaiah Edwards sentenced to 35 years after being found guilty of stabbing his roommate, Airman First Class Bradley Hale, to death. As part of his punishment, Edwards will also be dishonorably discharged. Louisiana, the third least educated state in the country. The study from Wallet Hub looked at high school graduation rates, college experience, and college graduation rates. The only two states worse than Louisiana, West Virginia and Mississippi. Bossier Parish crafts a plan for bridge repairs. Matt Parker with that.
12 bridges in Bossier Parish need to be repaired or replaced. 2 other bridges have been completely closed by DOTD due to their unsafe nature. To help fix some of the parish's problems, the Bossier Parish Police Jury came up with a plan to pay for at least some of the repairs. The parish will use money left over from a 2000 bond issue for a jail and will borrow some funds to repair the bridges that need it most. However, the closed bridges are not included on the repair list. The parish hopes to get grant money to replace those. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
There's a push at this week's LHSAA annual convention to let schools in the select divisions, generally private schools, have the ability to choose their own championship game locations. Turling's Catholic principal Mike Boyer says ideally select teams could host the championship at the higher-seeded team's home field to save on stadium rental costs.
Certainly, the profitability for the select schools would be greatly increased. We all fund our athletics through the sports that garnish revenue to help those non-revenue sports.
But Executive Director Eddie Bonine says depriving select school kids of a trip to the Superdome is wrong. Google says it's about to produce the world's first car-making plant that is 100% dedicated to the mass production of self-driving cars. The company will spend about $13.5 million to retrofit a manufacturing facility in the Detroit area. Oscar Mayer looking for a Wienermobile driver, but they don't call them drivers. They're called hot doggers. They're taking applications through January 31st. In order to apply, you do need a BA or BS in public relations, communications, or something like that. You also will be getting a pretty nice company car. I'm Erin McCarty from 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Ten past 7 o'clock. It's 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Wednesday morning traffic for the 7 o'clock hour. Starting us off, here's Ruben.
Starting to see some slow-moving traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. And we have some traffic delays on North Market near North Hearn Avenue. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Well, a chilly rain will come to an end this morning. Clouds open the door for sunshine this afternoon, mid-40s today. A clear sky tonight as our lows drop to 30. Sunshine tomorrow with 56 are high. And we wrap up the week with sunny skies on Friday. Friday's high in the upper 40s. Saturday, sunshine, 57. Richard Wettigan, the Weather Channel.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 13 past 7 o'clock. Don't forget the Keel app is always a free download from Office Furniture Source. Joining us for a little bit is the gentleman recently, confirmed yesterday by the City Council as Shreveport's Chief Technology Officer. Keith Hansen is here. Welcome to Keel. How are you? Happy New Year. Hadn't met before.
Thanks.
Yes, you did. He was in studio.
I don't think he was.
He wasn't here? Oh, my bad.
No.
My bad.
No, we met at the door, and
okay.
He was
boom, through all
dropped
the
about like 40 degrees since we got here this morning.
You're in charge of making Shreveport a smart city. So are we a dumb city today?
We are not utilizing technology to its fullest.
What does that mean?
That's for sure.
Does it mean does it mean we have the wrong equipment, or does it mean we have the right equipment and we just ain't running it right?
When I am talking about this kind of stuff, I'm mostly saying, internally to the city government, the software systems that run all the departments have not been upgraded or updated.
Are we 70s, 1980s, 1990s? I'm not saying that facetiously.
It's been at least a decade plus on some of these software systems.
Now, before we get into the particulars of what your plan is, the vision that you and the mayor share, give us a little background on yourself, if people don't know. I know you're a Shreveport-Bossier guy.
Yep. So let's see. I have been writing software since I was 12 years old. I'm 33 now. Yeah. It's a cool story, actually.
Go ahead. We got time.
He's not geeky at all. I promise.
I'm super geeky. But I was up in my attic, and I had an old computer. I mean, this was dial-up days, a little bit before that, and found a book.
Like my one at home. But go ahead.
Yep. It was the only one that my parents would let me break, basically. It was an old DOS machine with floppy disks. And lo and behold, I found this programming book in the attic that was my dad's while he was in college. And he had never really pursued it. It was just a VHS cassette tape and a reference manual, and then cassette tapes. Floppy disks, sorry. And I taught it took a year. I did not go very fast when I was 12, but I went from front cover to back cover and in about a year, and wrote my first program and just got hooked ever since.
When I was 12, I barely relaced my baseball glove.
Keith, what was the mayor's marching orders to you?
There were 4 main objectives. There was universal broadband. That was priority number 1. Functional IT, meaning creating a much more responsive unit inside of the government. Let's see, personnel management, of course, like actually training and making sure that skills are increasing every day, etc. That is something that the tech industry requires practically. You can't just coast in this job. You have to stay up to speed. And then I added, and he agreed, open data.
Okay.
Which I am super excited about the open data initiatives. So.
Are you charged with saving the city money?
That is something that I have seen. So let's see, about a week, as soon as he announced that I was up for confirmation, I then went upstairs and got to know everybody, my direct reports at least. I haven't met the entire team other than a handshake and a hi in the hallway. But I asked, the direct reports just to give me the lay of land here. Let me try and get up to speed. What am I walking into? Maybe I can turn around screaming if I need to. There was still time then, right? But yeah, that was kind of the first days on the job there.
We're adding another department head. I want you to explain how we're affording another department head.
Well, technically, I took $20,000 almost less than the current salary position for this position, and I took on more responsibility.
Well, we didn't have this position before.
Mark Santos will be going down to deputy. And
so he was the IT director.
Correct.
Okay. So he's going to be bumped down, and you're going to be his
that.
boss.
Technically, yes.
Will.
But wait.
Go ahead.
But you're adding a salary.
First of all, we have 7 unfilled positions in that department.
Okay.
Right. So now, all that to say, I didn't increase the appointed line in the budget. We basically split it down the middle.
Okay.
Is part of your job as technology officer to go from department to department, and I'm thinking now specifically of water and sewage, and look at the way, say, theoretically, the billing works and go, you guys might be able to improve a few things here?
So there's a whole division in my department that is dedicated to business analysts. So what they do is they do exactly what you said. Now, what they don't have a lot of capability to do is go find that stuff. So, for instance, if I were to go into water and audit, say, the call center, I would probably find a lot of ways that we can improve their operation and increase customer service, right? Like chat support. Instead of calling in, or while you're waiting on the line, it'll say, if you don't want to wait on the line, talk to a representative over chat right now, right? Go here, click, boom. And then now you're talking to somebody. That person can handle 4, 5, 20 conversations all at once. That sort of stuff is what I'd like to do, is just kind of dig in and find the opportunities, then prioritize them and get them into our department so that they get into the backlog and they start to be addressed.
So you're kind of like a digital efficiency expert, if you will, also.
Well, so I'll say this. As a small business owner, previously for 8 years before this position, every dollar counted, right? It was all our money, right? And we treated it like that. And when you go through the budget roll, you could save 20 here, 30 there every month, and that turns into, after an hour of doing this, 12 grand a year that you can then turn into marketing budget and then increase the margin, right?
Keith Hansen is the Chief Technology Officer, approved yesterday by the City Council for the City of Shreveport. Take a short break, be right back. 19 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Sports just ahead. Here's Ruben.
A fallen tree has caused down power lines and a gas leak on Yarborough Road near South Lakeshore Drive. And we're dealing with some traffic delays on Uri Drive near Southfield Road. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Well, the chilly rain will come to an end this morning. Clouds open the door for sunshine this afternoon, mid-40s today. A clear sky tonight as our lows drop to 30. Sunshine tomorrow with 56 are high. And we wrap up the week with sunny skies on Friday. Friday's high in the upper 40s. Saturday, sunshine, 57. Richard Weddick at the Weather Channel.
Twenty-one past 7 o'clock, KEEL Sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Red Hot LSU host ice cold Georgia in an SEC hoops contest this evening. The 25th ranked Tigers are one of 2 teams without a league loss, while Georgia is 1-4 in the conference, losing by 46, 15, 20, and 10 points. If there is an area of concern for Will Wade's squad tonight, though, it's rebounding. The Bulldogs are the SEC's best and 14th in the country, while the Tigers are 9th in the conference in rebounding and 102nd in the NCAA. Tip time is 6 p.m. You can listen on 1130 The Tiger. Northwestern State welcomes league-leading Sam Houston State to Prather Coliseum tonight at 6:30. The Bearcats are the only Southland Conference team without a conference loss through their first 5 games, while the Demons are 2-3. Second-year guard Dennis Smith Jr. returned to the Mavericks last night, scoring 17 points after missing the last 6 games to help Dallas get past the Clippers, 106-98 at home. Smith has been the subject of trade talks but flourished last night alongside rookie Luka Doncic, who also had a 17-point night. And the Baseball Hall of Fame has expanded by 4. Roy Halladay, Mike Mussina, Edgar Martinez, And for the first time ever, a unanimous choice with Mariano Rivera, the former Yankees closer. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty with us for another segment is Keith Hansen. He is the city's newly approved, newly appointed Chief Technology Officer. Yes, ma'am.
I have got to ask you, because I watched the meeting yesterday. A man gets up, David Cox got up with 2 water bills, one from a vacant house that's been vacant 6 months, and the bill was over $100. Can our CTO do something to make sure the right water bills are going out? Is that something you'll be involved in?
Yeah, pretty much all software that runs government is under my purview. So this is a twofold problem. It has 2 systems. One system reads the meter. That is a cloud software that's being rolled out. I can't give you exact timelines yet. I haven't gotten exact timelines from everybody. And I'm a little reticent to give you hard dates on the air, but
okay.
As all good engineers say out loud. But the first software is just like Adrian has talked about, Mayor Perkins. Take a photo of the actual dial so that you can verify in the cloud, and it happens with GPS signature, and it proves that they're out there reading the meters properly. Okay, so there's solution number 1. But that's only the front end. The back end of that collects that data and actually crafts the bills and sends them out. That system is the contentious, software that you've heard all about, Triton and all of those, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that software, we already have somebody in place working on the new billing system. So to give credit where it's due, this department has been handling all of that on their own already. I have stepped in, and it's autopilot. The people that are running it, fantastic. Now, I have seen all the email communication that updates all that, but it seems to be progressing well, and it's ahead of schedule, which is kind of shocking. I mean, most IT projects never run ahead of schedule.
One of the things that Adrian campaigned on, one of the biggest things was municipal broadband.
Not municipal.
Go ahead.
It is universal broadband. I just want to make sure that the media understands.
What's the difference in a nutshell?
Municipal is like a water and electricity service.
Okay.
Universal means everybody gets it.
Okay, see, because that was what I meant.
Yeah. Everybody has coverage.
Is it costly? Is it affordable? Is it, how do we pay for it? We're not flush with cash. Is it? Explain to me the implementation.
So the first thing that we have to do, you can go online right now and you can look at FCC maps that show coverage of where all ISPs are providing high-speed internet. Now, if you look at those maps, Shreveport looks pretty covered up. But I've learned in all the research that I've been doing on this that the FCC allows ISPs that if they get 1 or 2 houses on a census tract, which if you've looked at GIS maps, you'll know that a census tract is basically an entire block. one or two houses on that block get wired up, the entire census tract is labeled as covered, and the only speed that you see is the advertised speed that is for that census tract. So technically, if you were to believe that, which I actually, before I learned the rules around this, I assumed we were in great shape. I was going to, Mayor Perkins, what do we need? Everybody has already got broadband, right? And that's not the case. And so you have to work with the ISPs to get accurate understanding of where the gaps are.
Is there a cost?
It's internet. It's the same ISP that we've got. It's just going to be in more places, right? So, like, if you have Comcast as one option, then we're going to be pushing as an administration to get into way more streets and way more houses than they currently are. And if their speeds aren't high enough, we're going to be pushing from the administration to push those speeds up, be competitive, right? So right now I have 100 meg on my internet connection. Most people consider 250 megabit and above high-speed internet at this point.
Okay.
You could technically say 20 meg is high-speed internet because it's not dial-up or even ISDN lines or DSL. So there's a lot of layers to this onion, but it is not something that we're going to dump tax dollars into and try and run our own enterprise from as far as I know right now. I mean, those options are not off the table as far as community internet, but it's not a focus.
Got time for one more.
Your first 100 days, what is going to be accomplished by CTO Keith Hansen?
So everybody wants to see budget. I'm going to make a website that is like Councilman Butcher said, the people's budget. You'll be able to click and drill in and look at all the graphs and pie charts and all of that of revenue versus expense, etc. So that's the first big major thing, is to get more citizen-facing projects and get engagement in City Hall up. Everybody who came up and talked last night, I want them in a group called Geeks for Government. We had started it while I was running my race, previously in the city council. There's some brilliant people in there, but I think now with the IT department behind it, we can easily quintuple the size of that and get a lot of people helping the administration find ways to save more money.
Keith Hansen, Chief Technology Officer for the City of Shreveport. I guess you're headed to work today.
I guess so.
Thank you.
A pleasure.
Thank
Nice
you.
to see you. 29 past 7 o'clock. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Governor John Bell Edwards in less than 10 minutes or so. Traffic update now. Here's Ruben.
Still keeping an eye on several problems caused by a fallen tree on Yarborough Road near South Lakeshore Drive. It's dealing with down power lines and a gas leak right now. And we have some traffic delays on Line Avenue just south of East 70th Street. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Well, a chilly rain will come to an end this morning. Clouds open the door for sunshine this afternoon. Mid-40s today. A clear sky tonight as our lows drop to 30. Sunshine tomorrow with 56 are high. And we wrap up the week with sunny skies on Friday. Friday's high in the upper 40s. Saturday, sunshine 57. Richard Wettigan, the Weather Channel.
Information. KEEL News now.
It will be at least 2 weeks before we find out whether or not a clean city fee will go into effect in Shreveport. Christopher Wilder is the solid waste superintendent. He says his workers need better pay.
We're already behind. We don't have enough guys to put out there. We're hoping that we finish and hoping that we don't start to get the calls. As you know, Christmas, New Year's, these guys work 7 days a week trying to get caught up. On a normal week, we work 6 days a week every week just to make it. These guys are doing stuff that nobody else want to do.
Mayor Adrian Perkins says this is a critical problem for the city.
I don't know how long we can continue to go with our trash workers working at about 50% capacity, working 7 days a week. So yeah, I very much, in that op-ed that was referenced earlier, I purposely conflated the reserve and our trash workers because both of them are on my agenda. Both of them have a time clock.
It's beginning to look like a compromise will be reached. The council's working on several different amendments to put forward. Bossier schools settle a religious lawsuit. Matt Parker with that.
After a year-long battle in court, the Bossier Parish School Board and the Americans United for Separation of Church and State have reached a settlement. The school district was accused of promoting religion at their schools. Bossier schools crafted a religious expression policy to solve most of the issues in the lawsuit. While no specifics were given, the board says the new rules protect the rights of students and teachers and view the agreement as a win. A judge, however, still has to approve the settlement. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
A man found shot in Shreveport. According to police, the man was found inside a car outside of Southern Hills Elementary. The school was placed on temporary lockdown while police investigated. The man's wounds considered serious and life-threatening. Investigators still searching for clues in that case. A Barksdale airman's fate has been decided by a jury. Isaiah Edwards sentenced to 35 years after being found guilty of stabbing his roommate, Airman First Class Bradley Hale, to death. As part of his punishment, Edwards will also be dishonorably discharged. A New Orleans lawyer taking the NFL to court over the outcome of the NFC Championship game. Attorney Frank D'Amigo has filed a petition to compel Roger Goodell to explain why he's not invoking a rule in which the commissioner has the sole authority to take appropriate action or corrective measures. D'Amigo spoke with the New Orleans radio station on that topic.
We have a court date set for Monday. We are filing long-arm service today on Roger Goodell in New York. He's going to have to respond to the court by Monday.
D'Amigo says the rule is on the books for a reason, and it's situations like the one presented Sunday that make it perfectly acceptable to invoke that rule. Cold weather is with us, and it's going to get even colder. State climatologist Barry Kime says the northern parishes across the state, including the Shreveport-Bossier area, have already seen drastic temperature drops.
Temperatures yesterday afternoon were in the 60s and 70s. By this morning, however, temperatures have already dipped down into the 30s across northern parishes.
Kime says it's not atypical to receive this type of Arctic blast this time of year. Los Angeles school teachers getting ready to return to work today after reaching a tentative contract agreement with the district. Teachers in the nation's largest school district had been on strike for 6 days. They'll get a 6% pay hike, a commitment to reduce class sizes over 4 years, and would add more than 600 nursing positions. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
One 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 737. The KEEL app, a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. A gentleman who has not been on KEEL for a while, But it's always nice to have him on, the governor of the state of Louisiana, Mr. John Bell Edwards. Happy New Year, Governor. Welcome back to KEEL. How you doing today?
Good morning, Robert. I'm doing fine. I hope you and Erin are as well. It's great to be with you and your listeners.
Well, great to have you. You made your official announcement. You're running for re-election. No big surprise. Biggest reason people should support you for another term?
Well, because Louisiana is doing so much better on just about every front than we were 3 years ago when I came into office. Whether you look at the budget deficit that was at record levels and now we're running small surpluses, whether you look at the unemployment rate, which was in the mid-sixes and now it's below 5, with a near all-time high in employed citizens in Louisiana at over 2 million. If you look at the fact that we've stabilized higher education for the last 2 years, we've met our obligations to kids with TOPS. We're funding need-based aid for higher education. The uninsured rate in Louisiana went from about 1 in 4 to about 1 in 10, the lowest ever. And right now, we do not have the nation's highest rate of incarceration because of criminal justice reform bills that we signed into law summer before last, and it's going to save us money but make us safer. Those are some of the key themes that will be obviously at play in this election, and it's why I'm confident that we'll be reelected. We'll have a successful election this year, and like you said, Erin, it shouldn't take anybody by surprise. I've been saying all along I was going to run. It just, there comes a time when you have to make that official announcement, and that's what we did yesterday.
I'm looking at some numbers showing Louisiana's GDP 50th, Alaska behind us at 51. Louisiana's GDP growth of 1.1%, the second worst among the states and D.C., and job growth is only 0.3%. You have to see these reports. You have to be concerned about it.
Well, let's talk about GDP. The growth, the size of our economy as measured by GDP right now is the strongest, biggest it has ever been at $250 billion. In the quarter before the report you just mentioned, we had one of the strongest growths in GDP. What happened was we had farmers who had to plow under their soybeans because there was no market for them. So we did have a blip. There's no doubt about that. But in terms of the overall momentum in our economy, it is absolutely undeniable. And in fact, the GDP grew in Louisiana faster than the national average before that. And I expect that we're going to get back. In fact, we've already seen a dip in the unemployment in the most recent report.
Folks will say the unemployment rate's dipping because people are going off the rolls or they're leaving the state.
Well, yeah, but that's not true, Erin. We have a near all-time high in the number of people employed at over 2 million. The highest we ever had was last April. We're just below that right now. So that people can say that. It wouldn't be accurate to say that.
Are you familiar with the Alice report that's put out by the United Way?
I am.
Our region is hurting, Governor, and we have high numbers, particularly in Shreveport. What's the answer to that? What can the governor bring to the table for a community like ours?
Well, we've been working with the United Way on the Alice report and specific initiatives to address those things for a long time. For example, we know that one of the key things that we can do is make sure that working poor people have access to health care so that they can remain healthy and productive and active. And the Medicaid expansion has been a big part of that, saving us over $300 million in the last couple of years on state general fund, but also running that uninsured rate down to a record low in Louisiana and giving people an opportunity to have access to health care, making sure that we are educating and training our citizens, stabilizing funding for higher ed, including our community and technical colleges, our four-year universities, because the key to opportunity is to make sure we have an educated, trained workforce so that we can inspire confidence in those people who are making investment decisions to bring their dollars to Louisiana. That is happening. In fact, we've announced over 100 major economic development projects since I've been governor, with 30,000 new jobs and right at $31 billion worth of new capital investments. So those things are critical if we're going to have opportunity and more prosperity in Louisiana, and we are on that road today. Now, as I mentioned at the outset, we still have challenges in Louisiana, but we're in a much better position to continue to meet those challenges and to improve things here in Louisiana for all of our people, and certainly including in Northwest Louisiana. And if you look at the changes we made up there, for example, with the hospital and the medical school, we have stabilized that institution, which is critically important, not just for healthcare, although that's paramount. The impact it has on the economy in Northwest Louisiana is absolutely huge.
You mentioned Medicaid. I would be willing to bet that in the upcoming election, whoever is your Republican opponent will not agree with your assessment of the Medicaid expansion, that they will say that not only has it increased the budget and the deficit of the state, but it has been a boon to the Louisiana taxpayer. Obviously, you're going to disagree with that.
Well, they can say that if they want. They would just be completely wrong. Did we increase the budget? Yeah, by bringing home federal dollars to provide health care coverage for working poor people. But the fact of the matter is, someone is uninsured and they go to the hospital. We pay 40 cents on the dollar for the care. We can insure them for no more than 10 cents on the dollar, and that has allowed us to save over $300 million in general fund, and the economic impact that is being felt all over the state of Louisiana because of the Medicaid expansion is responsible for 19,000 jobs and an additional $100 million in general fund revenue because of the sales tax and the income tax generated by that economic impact. Most importantly, we have people with access to health care now, and you can manage disease. You can improve people's health. You can't do that when people are accessing care through the emergency room, which is the most costly, least effective way to actually treat them and improve their health. So I am very, very confident that the case will be made and that the people of Louisiana will absolutely accept that Medicaid expansion has been the right thing for Louisiana. We haven't had a single rural hospital closure in Louisiana. Look around at our neighboring states that didn't expand Medicaid and look at the number of hospitals that have actually closed in those states.
But it's been expensive. Our state budget, I believe, is at $32 billion, the largest ever. And I struggle with that, Governor. I think we've lost citizens. We're losing people to others. How are we still expanding our budget?
Erin, the state budget in general fund is $1 billion less than it was in 2008. What we are paying for with our taxes, our licenses, our fees is $1 billion less than it was in 2008. It's over a percentage point less this year than it was last year. What we did is we brought our federal tax dollars back to Louisiana to take care of people here rather than allowing those dollars to go to 30 other states so that they get the benefit of health care coverage while our people go without.
Why are you pointing to 2008? What?
Well, I pointed to 2008 and I pointed to last year. I pointed to both of them. Both of them are a frame of reference. So if you look at what we've done in Louisiana in terms of our state general fund, you cannot make the case that our government is growing out of control. Now, I ran 4 years ago, as you will remember, saying we were going to expand Medicaid, that we were going to bring our federal tax dollars home. When you do that, the overall budget increases because of the federal dollars that flow through that budget. But we are saving money because of the Medicaid expansion.
But 2008, is an anomaly year. We got a lot of Katrina money. That was a lot of folks are saying that on the opposition, there's a lot of Katrina money in that budget. Would you agree?
Well, you made the point, Erin, that it was the biggest ever. My point to you is that that's not so when you look at general fund. But I also pointed out what happened relative to last year. We're over a percentage point reduction in general fund from last year. And so I am confident that we're making the right decisions for the people of Louisiana and that the people of Louisiana will support what we've done.
A recent report by the Tax Foundation says that Louisiana has the third highest business taxes in the country. Is that a problem for you? Is this something you want to try to reduce?
Well, first of all, the overall taxation rate in Louisiana is, if you look at state and local taxes, is the third or fourth lowest in the country. And if you have specific components of taxation there that we want to look at, I'm certainly happy to do that. You know, we had a proposal that we pursued over the first couple of years that I was governor for tax reform, where the legislature created a task force, studied taxes in Louisiana, and made all sorts of recommendations, absolutely none of which even got a vote in the legislature. So you know, we will continue to look for best practices, way that we can remain competitive. But trust me, we are competitive right now in Louisiana. We've gotten over right at $31 billion of capital investment in our state from major economic development projects just over the last 3 years.
ITEP, Industrial Tax Exemption Program, that was something that you, through executive order, I think, returned more to the local level. I saw the article a couple of days ago that Exxon in Baton Rouge is probably going to cancel $1 billion expansion because of the new ITEP, or just a couple of years old, the ITEP rules. Is that something that you think has worked out the way you planned?
Well, what I planned to do was give locals a seat at the table, because I think, as you know, Robert, the state of Louisiana doesn't get a single dollar of property tax. That goes to local government. It goes to school boards. It goes to sheriffs. It goes to parish government. And to give them a seat at the table, and so that they can meet with these manufacturers and determine for themselves whether these exemptions are right for their parishes. And the overwhelming majority of ITEP applications have been approved, but giving them a seat at the table and making sure that we're focused on jobs, because before, the ITEP was being granted without any tie to jobs, and job creation is the only way to justify those very generous exemptions. Maybe a compelling case around job retention, but we need to keep in mind that the aggregate value of the ITEP in Louisiana in favor of manufacturers exceeds all of the homestead exemptions in the state of Louisiana in terms of aggregate value, and trying to make sure that we have representative democracy that works at the local level, where those are the entities that are going to be foregoing those revenues, I think is the right thing to do. And you know, we're going to continue to work with Exxon and other manufacturers to make sure that they do stay in Louisiana, because we have a very competitive, good business climate here. But that's the way the ITEP functions in other states, by the way, is that the manufacturers go to the local level and make sure that they have support for those exemptions.
Governor, let's talk roads a minute. Jimmy Davis Bridge, the inner-city connector of I-49. You've proposed in the past an increased gas tax. Are you ready to do that again? Do you have a plan you think can be passed so that we can get some of these projects done?
Well, I am not proposing that this year. Last year, actually in 2017, the last time we had a fiscal session, there was a task force that met that came out in support of additional revenue for the Transportation Trust Fund. I do think that action of that nature is going to be required, because the gas tax in Louisiana is 30 years old, and it's 16 cents today. It was 16 cents 30 years ago, and just the purchasing power has been whittled down because of inflation to about 7.5 cents. And so we're going to have to do something, but in all honesty, this is an election year. I don't see any appetite in the legislature to do that this year. I think there will be some more discussions to look at what should happen, exactly what form it should take, because there's different ways to do this. But no, I don't see that happening. But what we're going to continue to do is make sure that we are more innovative and creative in the way that we finance and deliver projects. You know, we're doing that right now, for example, with Garvey bonds, where we're going to bond out 10% of our Federal Transportation Trust Fund dollars over a 12-year period in order to deliver some high-capacity projects that are very, very important, such as the on-ramp and off-ramp of I-20 right there at Barksdale, which I think is critically important for the northern part of our state as well.
Governor John Bell Edwards, don't be a stranger.
I shall not.
Thank you,
I
sir.
shall not.
Appreciate your time.
It's nobody's birthday today?
No, but I do need you in May. I'm hitting 35 years, so I might need a proclamation or something.
Okay, just let me know. We'll do it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all so much.
751, it's 101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic update now. Here's Ruben.
Still keeping an eye on several problems caused by a fallen tree on Yarborough Road near South Lakeshore Drive. It's dealing with down power lines and a gas leak right now. And we have some traffic delays on Line Avenue just south of East 70th Street. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Well, the chilly rain will come to an end this morning. Clouds open the door for sunshine this afternoon, mid-40s today. A clear sky tonight as our lows drop to 30. Sunshine tomorrow with 56 are high. And we wrap up the week with sunny skies on Friday. Friday's high in the upper 40s. Saturday, sunshine, 57. Richard Wettig, the Weather Channel.
.7 FM, 710 Keel Sports Time.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Red Hot LSU hosts ice cold Georgia in an SEC hoops contest this evening. The 25th ranked Tigers are one of two teams without a league loss, while Georgia is 1-4 in the conference, losing by 46, 15, 20, and 10 points. If there is an area of concern for Will Wade's squad tonight, though, it's rebounding. The Bulldogs are the SEC's best and 14th in the country, while the Tigers are 9th in the conference in rebounding and 102nd in the NCAA. Tip time is 6 p.m. You can listen on 1130 The Tiger. Northwestern State welcomes league-leading Sam Houston State to Prather Coliseum tonight at 6:30. The Bearcats are the only Southland Conference team without a conference loss through their first 5 games, while the Demons are 2-3. Second-year guard Dennis Smith Jr. returned to the Mavericks last night, scoring 17 points after missing the last 6 games to help Dallas get past the Clippers, 106-98 at home. Smith has been the subject of trade talks but flourished last night alongside rookie Luka Doncic, who also had a 17-point night. And the Baseball Hall of Fame has expanded by 4. Roy Halladay, Mike Mussina, Edgar Martinez, and for the first time ever, a unanimous choice with Mariano Rivera, the former Yankees closer. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 757 Fox News. And Miss Erin with local stuff in just a couple of seconds. City Councilman John Nicholson just after 8 o'clock talking about the council meeting yesterday. More specifically, the discussion, the debate, and the status of Mayor Perkins' $18 a month garbage fee proposal. 757, mention that. Here's Hannity on Keel.
Your morning cup of Sean. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
I got to tell you something. There are other internet sites that have more credibility than the mainstream media. And BuzzFeed, all BuzzFeed did was feed the fantasy, the hopes, the inner desires, the dreams, the giddiness of the news media in this country to get Trump. How many times? This is it. We got him. Got him. This is it. Well, if it's true, and then they go from if it's true, then they spend the next 10 hours talking about the issue as if it's true. Just because you say if it's true, he should be impeached. And then say the word impeachment 200 times. And that's what BuzzFeed gave them their manna for heaven for that day.
The conservative underground meets later today on the Sean Hannity Show.
Hey, if you're one of 34 million Americans that smokes, you know what a hassle it can be. For me, I'm out playing golf and I come back smelling like cigars. It's the smell on your hands and your breath, your clothes. But now, thanks to Juul, you don't have to worry about it anymore. Juul is a vaporizer. It does contain nicotine for a satisfying transition. Now, when I found Juul, it was a complete game changer in my life. I don't smoke any cigars any longer. And Juul was designed by smokers for smokers to be an alternative to whatever it is you're smoking. So if you're one of 34 million adults who do smoke cigars, cigarettes, pipe, whatever, well, there is an alternative to all of them. Now, to discover the smoking alternative, that's like nothing you've ever tried. Just visit JUUL.com/SwitchAmerica. That's JUUL.com/SwitchAmerica. Now, warning, this product does contain nicotine, and nicotine is addictive.
KEEL Weather Channel forecast, cloudy, rainy, cold today. Highs in the middle 40s, below 30 tonight a possibility. Currently 44 at KEEL.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
Just a skosh past 8 o'clock. Robert and Erin down yonder, other end of the Gopher Shape broadcast table. Ms. Erin has local news up next.
Wet and nasty day and very cold. We'll also have the latest in the Bossier School fight over religion and the Shreveport City fight over a clean city fee.
Speaking of that, Councilman John Nicholson joins us just a bit later this hour to talk about yesterday's council meeting. State Representative Alan Seabaugh coincidentally driving down I-20 listening to John Bell.
Be careful.
Said, can I come in and talk? I said, you're always welcome here. So he literally will be here as soon as he turns around in His Pines Road.
Yep.
Fletcher and sports, traffic and weather, it's all coming up this hour, and it's here on KEEL.
KEEL Morning Report, now on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
It's a wet and nasty day and more cold air is on the way. That's the message from state climatologist Barry Keim.
This front bringing widespread rain to Louisiana, just like we saw over the weekend. And this time we're looking at rain to the tune of 1 to 2 inches by the time it's all said and done.
Keim says the Shreveport-Bossier area has already seen a big drop in temps, and that will continue through tomorrow. After a year-long battle in court, the Bossier School Board and Americans United for Separation of Church and State have reached a settlement. The school district was accused of promoting religion at schools. Bossier Schools crafted a religious expression policy to solve many of the issues in the suit. While no details were given, the board says the new rules protect the rights of students and teachers and view the agreement as a win. A judge, however, still has to approve the settlement. A lot of folks spoke out against the proposed clean city fee of $18 a month for Shreveport, but several also told the council we must do something for the sanitation workers. Christopher Wilder is the solid waste superintendent.
We're waiting for the human resources to give us the list to tell us how many people we can hire. At best, we'll get about 15 to 60 people on that list. When we interview them, once they sit down, we talk to them and tell them what the job entails, tell them how much they make. We might hire about 2 or 3 guys.
Mayor Adrian Perkins.
I appreciate the public comments today. I really do. I appreciate the comments from my council members as well, and all the brainstorming that's went into us coming up with a plan, a solution that all of Shreveport can agree with and we can move forward.
It sounds like several council members want to work on a compromise rather than approve the full $18 fee. A man found shot in Shreveport. According to police, the man was found inside a car outside of Southern Hills Elementary. The school was placed on temporary lockdown while police investigated. The man's wounds considered serious and life-threatening. Investigators still searching for clues in that case. Louisiana near the bottom in a new education study. Matt Parker with that.
According to a study from Wallet Hub, Louisiana is the third least educated state in the country. The study looked at high school graduation rates, college experience, and college graduation rates. The only 2 states worse than Louisiana are West Virginia and Mississippi. Researchers say poor school performance and availability of high-paying, low-skilled jobs contributed to Louisiana's low grade. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
12 bridges in Bossier Parish need to be repaired or replaced. 2 other bridges have been completely closed by DOTD due to their unsafe nature. To help fix some of the parish's problems, the Bossier Police Jury came up with a plan to pay for at least some of the repairs. The parish will use money left over from a 2000 bond issue for a jail and will borrow some funds to repair the bridges that need it most. The price tag about $20 million. A Barksdale airman's fate has been decided by a jury. Isaiah Edwards sentenced to 35 years after being found guilty of stabbing his roommate, Airman First Class Bradley Hale, to death. As part of his punishment, Edwards will also be dishonorably discharged. An organization is gearing up to push for hemp legalization in Louisiana after the Farm Bill lets states start regulating it. Louisiana Industrial Hemp Alliance representative Art Walker says it's a lucrative cash crop that currently has to be mostly imported and is found in a range of products.
Hair products, soap, skin cream, matting for farm animals. The list just goes on. With 50,000 and counting, you can imagine it's almost in everything that you can do.
So far, 19 states harvested industrial hemp last year. John Bell Edwards officially kicked off his re-election bid with an online video that not only touts his performance, but also warns he'll be a target of multi-million-dollar attack campaigns. The partial government shutdown has reached day 33, and 2 votes are set in the Republican-controlled Senate with the aim to end it. Add the governor to the list of people chastising the NFL about officiating in the NFC Championship game that sent the LA Rams to the Super Bowl instead of the Saints, the governor calling on the NFL to make rule changes for next season. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
One 1017 FM and 710 KEEL traffic update. Rainy, cold, wet. Ugh, here's Ruben.
Crews are still working to clean up down power lines on Yarborough Road near South Lakeshore Drive due to a fallen tree. And we're still looking at some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up to Airline Drive right now. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Well, the chilly rain will come to an end this morning. Clouds open the door for sunshine this afternoon, mid-40s today. A clear sky tonight as our lows drop to 30. Sunshine tomorrow with 56 are high. And we wrap up the week with sunny skies on Friday. Friday's high in the upper 40s. Saturday, sunshine, 57. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. It's 14 past 8 o'clock. That Keel app is always the freest of free downloads, presented by Office Furniture Source.
State Representative Alan Seabaugh, I know his panties are in a bunch today.
No, you know he came in, and Mr. Allen, State Rep Alan Seabaugh is here, and Erin says, so you heard the interview with John Bell, and actually what he said was, hey, it wasn't that bad today.
Was your lyometer going off?
He told a couple of whoppers, but
Okay.
but it was not as bad as usual.
Okay.
The video that he put out, his announcement video, the only thing that was true in that video was that he's running for re-election. All of the accomplishments that he claims are either things that he created or they're just absolutely not true. So I cannot believe that he's actually looking at camera and telling the people of Louisiana those things are so easy to prove that they're not true.
Do we have more people working now like he says? Or did more people just leave the state?
Yeah, the unemployment numbers are down because we have fewer people applying. The employment numbers actually went up, but that's because the first 2 years he was in, they went down so far that they've come back up, but not back up to where he was when he got there. You quoted a statistic or study that showed Louisiana being a high-tax state, and we are. He quoted a study saying we had the third or fourth lowest business taxes. That study was done before he became governor. That was prior to 7 special sessions and tax increase after tax increase. He loves to quote the study that had nothing to do with him. Once he got in, and what he's done to the Louisiana tax structure is we've gone further and further down that list. I mean, he's raised taxes on everything, literally raised taxes on Girl Scout cookies. I mean, he put a tax on everything that he could. And Louisiana is now one of the hardest hit states by taxes. And when you talk about GDP, let's look at a couple of numbers. GDP is a gross domestic product of all goods and services sold within the state of Louisiana. It went up by 1%. He is correct. But the 2 years prior to that, it actually went down. We're the only state in the nation whose GDP shrunk over those years, literally meaning
Only state in the nation.
Only state in the nation with negative GDP for 2 consecutive years, which means we have the worst economy in the nation. It did go back up by 1%, but that's no great accomplishment. But think about the fact that the state spending has gone up by 28% over that same time period.
One of the most wonkish things, and I touched on it, and you and I have talked about it a little bit, and you have a much greater understanding, is the Medicaid expansion and how that is not so good for the Louisiana economy.
Yeah, he says it in his video, and he said it on your show again this morning, that has saved Louisiana money.
Yeah.
There's literally no way to look at the budget and show that has saved Louisiana money. The spending by Louisiana Department of Hospitals has gone from $9 billion in General's last budget to $13.5. That's a 50% increase because of Medicaid expansion. And that's $4.5 billion. He's raised taxes $7 billion on the people of Louisiana. The budget has gone from $25 to $32 billion. Taxes have gone up on everything. And he says in the video that he cut spending. That's absolutely no way to justify that statement. He was touting it last year, and I came on your show and made the statement that there's just no way to justify that statement. It was the only issue in which the print media in Baton Rouge actually called him out. The Advocate and the Times-Picayune, finally, their whopper meter went off, and they said, okay, we need to see the numbers. And then Jay Darden came before the committee and said, well, I never really said we cut anything. It was means of finance swaps. It was accounting tricks. We never really cut anything. And then he came back after that and still says, yeah, we cut $600 million. No, you didn't. You didn't cut anything. It went up by $7 billion.
But Alan, and we're talking to State Rep Alan Seabaugh regarding the governor who was on the air earlier. The Republicans are now starting to line up to challenge John Bell Edwards. And what happened last time is they killed each other, and he walked in unscathed. Is that going to change this fall?
I hope so. There's a lot of us that are talking to the people running, and that's the one thing we're saying. I don't mind if you run, but the first Republican who starts attacking another Republican is going to lose everything.
We're out. Yeah, we're not voting for you.
There's not a David Vitter in this race. There's not a polarizing person. I mean, the two Republicans running right now, Ralph Abraham and Eddie Risponi, are two of the nicest guys you're ever going to meet in your life. They're great individuals, very successful businessmen outside of elected office. I know former Congressman John Fleming's talking about running. Again, great guy, impeccable record in Congress, fantastic candidates across the board. And I don't see, and also, by the way, these guys are all friends. Mm-hmm. I don't see the vitriol among the Republican field or any potential candidates that might get in. I know Sharon Hewitt's thinking about it. Mm-hmm. I don't see the vitriol coming out of the woodwork between these guys like it was last time.
Need to go to break. You want to hang out a couple of seconds? Got a couple more minutes?
I'll be glad to.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel. More with State Rep Alan Seaball momentarily. 19 past 8 o'clock. Sports just ahead. Ruben's ready.
Crews are still working to clean up down power lines on Yarborough Road near South Lakeshore Drive due to a fallen tree. And we're still looking at some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up to Airline Drive right now. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Well, the chilly rain will come to an end this morning. Clouds open the door for sunshine this afternoon, mid-40s today. A clear sky tonight as our lows drop to 30. Sunshine tomorrow with 56 are high. And we wrap up the week with sunny skies on Friday. Friday's high in the upper 40s. Saturday, sunshine, 57. Richard Wettig, the Weather Channel.
.101.7 FM, 710 Keel Sports Update now.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Red Hot LSU host ice cold Georgia in an SEC hoops contest this evening. The 25th ranked Tigers are one of two teams without a league loss, while Georgia is 1-4 in the conference, losing by 46, 15, 20, and 10 points. If there is an area of concern for Will Wade's squad tonight, though, it's rebounding. The Bulldogs are the SEC's best and 14th in the country, while the Tigers are 9th in the conference in rebounding and 102nd in the NCAA. Tip time is 6 p.m. You can listen on 1130 The Tiger. Northwestern State welcomes league-leading Sam Houston State to Prather Coliseum tonight at 6:30. The Bearcats are the only Southland Conference team without a conference loss through their first 5 games, while the Demons are 2-3. Second-year guard Dennis Smith Jr. returned to the Mavericks last night, scoring 17 points after missing the last 6 games to help Dallas get past the Clippers, 106-98 at home. Smith has been the subject of trade talks but flourished last night alongside rookie Luka Doncic, who also had a 17-point night. And the Baseball Hall of Fame has expanded by 4. Roy Halladay, Mike Mussina, Edgar Martinez, and for the first time ever, a unanimous choice with Mariano Rivera, the former Yankees closer. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Jack Spring electric shockbuster button unused to this point. That's a good thing.
Just today, yeah.
Another segment with State Representative Alan Seaball. We had Governor John Bell Edwards earlier. I cited this with the governor, and I found it in the Advocate a few days ago. The Tax Foundation ranks Louisiana 44th when it comes to business tax climates. local governments. I want to skip that. Currently, Louisiana is the third highest such business tax in the nation. That's not exactly the picture that John Bell was painting about the future of our state economy.
No, and that study is absolutely true. And what the study doesn't say, but I will, is we are that low or in that ranking, or their taxes are that high because of John Bell Edwards. He's taken the inventory tax exemptions away. He's clobbered ITEP. The industrial tax exemption program is all but non-existent.
We were talking about that a little bit last evening, and I had seen, and I brought it up with the governor, that as far as his executive order pertaining to ITEP, industrial tax exemption program, and the article out of Baton Rouge just a couple of days ago that Exxon is not going to expand its Baton Rouge plant by over $1 billion because the school board in Baton Rouge said, we're not going to, we're going to tax you on that.
And Georgia Pacific just closed a plant in the Baton Rouge area, costing about 1,000 jobs. There was another, I think it was a pipe manufacturer, closed up shop for the same reason. And that is 100% because of John Bell's executive order. The ITEP applications are down 72%. And what he did, he made a comment on your show. He said that all the ones that have come through have been granted. That's true. But with his executive order, he, well, I don't know that to be true. I don't know it to be not true. But with his executive order, he significantly limited the scope of who can apply.
Well,
so the applications themselves.
Exxon decided, we talked about it. Exxon said, we're just withdrawing the ITEP application completely.
Right. But because locals, and the ITEP's been in existence for like 80 years. And there was a board which would approve or disapprove the applications. And in this particular case, what John Bell did with his executive order was say, we're going to let each taxing authority within an area, the school board, the sheriff, the parish committee, whatever, we're going to let each of them decide on their own whether to give the exemption or not. And the East Baton Rouge School Board said, no, we're not going to give you the exemption. And Exxon said, fine, we're not going to spend $1 billion in East Baton Rouge Parish. And I mean, that has played out. We lost a multi-billion-dollar facility that was looking around Lake Charles area. They simply just went right across the state line to Texas. I think it was a $35 billion investment facility that would have employed thousands of people at high-paying jobs, not people flipping burgers. And it's gone.
And the ITEP board would have approved that.
Yes, absolutely.
Can I ask you a question and you give me an honest answer? Not like you don't.
I always give you honest.
You
answers.
always do. But I, to your heart, to your core, I hate even asking this, but I'm gonna.
I hate even asking this.
Has John Bell Edwards done anything good?
That's a tough question. I might have to think about it. He's done some things that weren't horrible. Look, I spent 5 years in the legislature with him, and we very rarely agreed. We actually worked together on one bill, and we joked about it a lot. And we passed it with flying colors because he and I, standing arm in arm, and it flew through. And I said to him, if you and I could agree more often, there's no limit to what we could do. And he said, and his comment was, I needed to go to his way of thinking, and I said, no, you need to come to mine.
Do y'all ever sit down? I mean, do you ever go to his office and sit down and him try to persuade you, or vice versa?
No, not at all.
You don't see that happening?
I've spoken to him in the hallway a couple of times, and he tried to get me to come up to his office during one of the sessions last year, but he was only trying to get me off the floor because I was the only one objecting to his bill. He was trying to get me up there while we were in session. And I said, I'll come up afterwards, but I'm not leaving the floor while we're in session. He was trying to get me off the floor so they could pass a bill without my objection.
And he didn't want you there after?
No, he didn't want to meet with me afterwards. He wanted to meet with me while they were in session. And I said, no. I said, I'll come up when we adjourn. And we adjourned at like 8 or 9 o'clock that night, and I went up there, and it was vacant. His office was empty.
Kind of stinky politics, Alan.
Well, that's exactly. I was the only one in the first special session last year. I was the only one that objected to the income tax increase bill and the sales tax increase bill. And it was the second special that I actually filibustered it. But the first special, I got the votes and we killed it. And I was the only one that went to the floor opposing his bills. And it was then that I pointed out that he was using the wrong numbers. He was saying we needed $944 billion tax increases to balance the budget. And that was not true, because there was money coming in, like the federal tax change resulted in about $350 million of extra income taxes to Louisiana that he wasn't counting. And so I said, I might be willing to accept something, but it's not 944. He's using the wrong numbers. And then that's when I said, when he stood here at the House floor and he said 944, it was a lie when he said it, and it's a lie today. And it was. And everybody went crazy. They called the governor a liar. Then about 2 weeks later, they came out and said, oh, yeah, the number actually is closer to 600 because we wasn't counting the 350. Nobody ever bothered to say, oh, by the way, Seaball was correct. But I was. And he was using a wrong number. He's trying to get us to raise taxes way more than was necessary. Way more than was necessary. And every time you hear him say that we had a $2 billion deficit, that is fundamentally not true. He came in with the way Louisiana does budget. We go from a July to June fiscal year. So the governor comes in the middle of that. So it was the budget that he came in was passed while he was in the legislature the previous year. And it was balanced. We had a balanced budget. And he came in. The only way we have a balanced budget every year, the only way we can have a deficit is if somebody wants to spend more money than we actually have. So when John Bell came in, he said, oh, we have a deficit. We had the balanced budget. I mean, we balanced the budget. You can go look it up. It was a balanced budget. He came in and said, I want to spend more money in the short term. So therefore, I'm going to need more money. So what he did is they came in with the penny sales tax. They I think that was when they did the inventory tax. Several tax increases came through. And then they had to go to Appropriations Committee and do a supplemental budget, re-spending this money. The previous one was balanced. And so every time you hear him say we had a record deficit, we had a $2 billion deficit, it is simply not true. It is factually incorrect. It's a lie. It's whatever word you want to put on it, but it is not true, because we've never had a deficit because we have a balanced budget.
Alan Seabaugh, State Representative, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
1017 FM, 710 Keel, City Councilman John Nicholson just about 10 minutes away. He was at that marathon session yesterday discussing, among other things, or in fact the only thing, practically, the mayor's proposed $18 a month garbage fee. We'll talk about that and other things between now and 9. Traffic update now, just ahead of local news. Here's Ruben.
Crews are still working to clean up downed power lines on Yarborough Road near South Lakeshore Drive due to a fallen tree. And we're still looking at some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up to Airline Drive right now. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Well, a chilly rain will come to an end this morning. Clouds open the door for sunshine this afternoon. Mid-40s today. A clear sky tonight as our lows drop to 30. Sunshine tomorrow with 56 are high. And we wrap up the week with sunny skies on Friday. Friday's high in the upper 40s. Saturday, sunshine, 57. Richard Wettig, the Weather Channel.
Information. KEEL News now.
It will be at least 2 weeks before we find out whether or not a clean city fee will go into effect in Shreveport. Christopher Wilder is the solid waste superintendent. He says his workers need better pay.
We're already behind. We don't have enough guys to put out there. We're hoping that we finish and hoping that we don't start to get the calls. As you know, Christmas, New Year's, these guys work 7 days a week trying to get caught up. On a normal week, we work 6 days a week every week just to make it. These guys are doing stuff that nobody else want to do.
Mayor Adrian Perkins says this is a critical problem for the city.
I don't know how long we can continue to go with our trash workers working at about 50% capacity, working 7 days a week. So yeah, I very much, in that op-ed that was referenced earlier, I purposely conflated the reserve and our trash workers because both of them are on my agenda. Both of them have a time clock.
It's beginning to look like a compromise will be reached. The council's working on several different amendments to put forward. Bossier schools settle a religious lawsuit. Matt Parker with that.
After a year-long battle in court, the Bossier Parish School Board and the Americans United for Separation of Church and State have reached a settlement. The school district was accused of promoting religion at their schools. Bossier schools crafted a religious expression policy to solve most of the issues in the lawsuit. While no specifics were given, the board says the new rules protect the rights of students and teachers and view the agreement as a win. A judge, however, still has to approve the settlement. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
A man found shot in Shreveport. According to police, the man was found inside a car outside of Southern Hills Elementary. The school was placed on temporary lockdown while police investigated. The man's wounds considered serious and life-threatening. Investigators still searching for clues in that case. A Barksdale airman's fate has been decided by a jury. Isaiah Edwards sentenced to 35 years after being found guilty of stabbing his roommate, Airman First Class Bradley Hale, to death. As part of his punishment, Edwards will also be dishonorably discharged. A New Orleans lawyer taking the NFL to court over the outcome of the NFC Championship game. Attorney Frank D'Amigo has filed a petition to compel Roger Goodell to explain why he's not invoking a rule in which the commissioner has the sole authority to take appropriate action or corrective measures. D'Amigo spoke with the New Orleans radio station on that topic.
We have a court date set for Monday. We are filing long-arm service today on Roger Goodell in New York. He's going to have to respond to the court by Monday.
D'Amigo says the rule is on the books for a reason, and it's situations like the one presented Sunday that make it perfectly acceptable to invoke that rule. Cold weather is with us, and it's going to get even colder. State climatologist Barry Kime says the northern parishes across the state, including the Shreveport-Bossier area, have already seen drastic temperature drops.
Now, temperatures yesterday afternoon were in the 60s and 70s. By this morning, however, temperatures have already dipped down into the 30s across northern parishes.
Kime says it's not atypical to receive this type of Arctic blast this time of year. Los Angeles school teachers getting ready to return to work today after reaching a tentative contract agreement with the district. Teachers in the nation's largest school district had been on strike for 6 days. They'll get a 6% pay hike, a commitment to reduce class sizes over 4 years, and would add more than 600 nursing positions. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
One 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. So John Nicholson in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, by the
Councilman
way.
John Nicholson, sorry.
Matt and I are qualified for a job you're not qualified for.
No, I am totally unqualified. I know what you're talking about.
FYI, if you're looking for a job
Yeah.
and you want a job
Seems
being a
minimal
hot
work.
dogger,
Well, I beg your pardon?
being a hot dogger,
Well, I drank the hot dog water when I was a kid.
driving the Oscar Mayer,
Yeah.
the Ochsner Mayer,
See, I thought of that too.
Wienermobile.
Oscar Mayer.
They're looking for drivers. The deadline to apply is January 31st. But you, Robert J. Wright, are not qualified.
Who's a bigger wiener than me?
You should be the top wiener. You're right. You really should be.
Now, how is it that I am not qualified to drive a phallic-shaped vehicle around I-20?
In order to apply to be a Goodwill ambassador for the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile,
Yes.
you need to have a BA or BS in public relations, communications,
So
blah,
you
blah,
need-
blah.
Pardon me.
Yeah.
You need a college degree.
Yes.
To drive the Wienermobile.
Yes, you do.
And in a Freudian way, pull it in and out of my carport.
Right.
No
right.
wonder they won't hire me.
If you are outgoing and love a good hot dog, you
Yes.
could be the next hot dogger.
This is, by the way, on the KEEL, the KEEL page, KEELnews.com. All the info and all the specific links for you to apply to be a wiener driver.
Yeah, and you cannot apply. I thought you'd be a good top wiener.
Sadly, miserably underqualified. 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Councilman John Nicholson comes up just a couple of seconds away. Here's Ruben.
Looking right now at some backed up traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. And we also have some backed up traffic on Benton Road southbound just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Well, a chilly rain will come to an end this morning. Clouds open the door for sunshine this afternoon, mid-40s today. A clear sky tonight as our lows drop to 30. Sunshine tomorrow with 56 are high. And we wrap up the week with sunny skies on Friday. Friday's high in the upper 40s. Saturday, sunshine, 57. Richard Weddick, the Weather Channel.
.117 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin, 18 before 9 o'clock. City Councilman John Nicholson is here. Hey, Mr. John, welcome back to KEEL. How you doing this morning?
Hey, Robert and Aaron, good morning. How are y'all?
So what time did you guys finally wrap up last night? Two-part question. So what time did you guys finally wrap up the city council meeting? And when you got home, did you look in the mirror and go, glad I ran?
Look, we got done about 6:30, so it was a 3.5-hour meeting. I hope they're not all that long. Say, as long as we need to when we have these things.
The garbage fee, clean city fee, tax, whatever you want to call it. It sounds like, from me watching the meeting, that you guys are looking toward working out some sort of compromise. You feel that way too?
Look, I think that's right. I don't think that the sanitation fee is going to pass at $18 per household per month. But I do think that in the end there will be support from the majority of the council for some fee.
What are you in favor of right now?
Look, I am really concerned, as I've indicated on social media and in the council meeting, about the fact that we have a 1% operating reserve on our 2019 budget. Before we got on the radio this morning, I pulled up the Caddo Commission's 2019 budget. The Caddo Commission's got an annual budget of about $76 million, if I'm reading that document right, and its fund balance reserve is $151 million, or projected to be by 2019. We don't need a reserve of 200%, but we need to do better than 1%.
how do you get there? There's going to be, you're a brand new council member. Do you think we've sufficiently scrubbed the budget at all to try to come up with some money?
I think that getting to a responsible operating reserve is a two-part process. One part of the process is scrubbing the budget, and I've started that process. One of the things I had on the agenda yesterday had to do with about $90,000 of money that the previous council set aside to be given to various nonprofits selected by council members. My suggestion and motion to the council was that we take that money and devote it to the operating reserve, because as tight as things are for the city, I think we've got to, as you say, scrub it and look everywhere. $90,000 is not going to get the whole job done, but it was a start. Councilman Butcher supported me. The other members didn't, but I'm going to continue to look for places where we can save money.
So 2 weeks down the line, it comes up again. The amendment process will begin. What kind of amendments to the mayor's proposal do you anticipate? What amendments might you suggest?
You know, I anticipate, based on the comments of several council members, that there may be amendments offered to limit the impact this fee would have on the neediest members of our community. One possibility would be exempting people who are above a certain age or people who have incomes below the poverty level. I haven't decided what amendments I will personally offer. I will say that from my perspective, what has to happen, what has to emerge from this process is a way to stop using general fund revenues to subsidize trash collection. We just can't afford to do that. We don't have the money in the budget. That doesn't take $18, but it is going to require a sacrifice from everybody in the community.
How can we be assured, and I heard several people get up and ask this yesterday, how can we be assured if a certain fee or tax, whatever you want to call it, goes to the sanitation department where we want it to go and not into the general fund and then siphoned off somewhere else?
Well, I do think it's important to understand that the fee as proposed to $18 would generate substantially more money than is necessary to stop that subsidy that I'm talking about. Mayor Perkins indicated in the editorial that he published recently that the subsidy of trash collection with general fund revenues is about $8.4 million. This fee that passed at $18 a month would generate substantially more than that. His estimate was $14 million. I haven't done seen the backup on that, but I trust that it's correct. So if the fee were to pass at $18 a month, we would be able to fully fund public work so that we're not subsidizing from the general revenues. And we also would have a significant amount of money to do with what we thought appropriate. And if the fee were to pass at $18, my preference would be for us to give a hard look to increasing the compensation of our police officers and firefighters. I don't know if the council is going to approve it at that level, but if that extra money is available at the end of this process, that would be my preference.
We had Councilman Jerry Bowman on yesterday morning, and he said the 18. He said he thought the 18 was a bit high too. That he might go for 5 or 6 or 7, and he didn't discount the possibility of phasing in a higher fee over maybe every year, maybe every couple of years. Is that on the table for you, or are you more in favor of a fixed fee ad infinitum, as it were?
I am not decided about what this needs to look like from my perspective when we get done with the process, other than to say this: we have to have a plan now to get our operating reserve to an acceptable level. We're at $3 million projected for 2019. By the end of my 4-year term, I'd like to see that number at $20 million or more. And so that's going to take significant revenue that we don't have in the budget at present.
John Nicholson, City Councilman, I got the answer to my exemption question with regard to water bills from the mayor's office, that there are 1,472 homes who get assistance through the water assistance program to the tune of about $200,000. Would you anticipate the same number of residents would ask for help with this garbage fee?
Well, I think that depends on what fee the council ultimately approves and what the opportunities are for exemptions. I'm not sure what that number would look like.
How do you feel about those exemptions? If that were an amendment that came up, how would you personally feel about that? Since the current water fee subsidy is $200,000 per.
Yeah, look, if we were to reach an agreement that required a subsidy, not a subsidy, but an exemption that cost $200,000 a year, and that provided relief to the people in our community who need it most, I certainly would strongly consider that.
Given the fact that there has been a degree of concern regarding the water and sewer department, how do you feel about that department that's had a little bad publicity over the last few years suddenly being in charge of another $18 a year fee? Is that a concern for you?
Well, this fee would be collected on the water and sewer bill, but the water and sewer department wouldn't be in charge of the revenue collected. But, as to the department, generally, look, like everybody else in the city over the past couple of years, I've gotten water bills that have made no sense to me. Don't have a swimming pool, don't run my sprinklers all year, but my bill has still varied as much as 100% from one month to the next. I'm very concerned about that. I know that the mayor and his administration are still trying to get to the bottom of it, and the council is as well.
John Nicholson, Shreveport City Councilman, my city councilman, FYI. Thanks for your service and appreciate your time.
Hey, thank you both so much. Have a great day.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. It's 850. Your money now.